Hey, and welcome back to the Emlyn in the Mix podcast, season 3, episode 22. It is, of course, the NAMM special. NAMM 2022 is happening right now. It is absolutely bonkers. There are so many products to get through today. If this is your first time to the podcast, what is it about? It is, of course, about music tech, music gear, audio technology, sound recording, studio stuff. If you're into all of that, you're into music gear, and you like the music world of creating, then you're going to love this podcast. And for those of you who are regular listeners and viewers here on YouTube, then you know what it's about. You know the drill. You can support me, shout me a coffee, link in the description down below. But I think we're going to get stuck into it. We're going to have to fly through. I've had to actually cull a few products because it's NAMM 2022, baby. There's just heaps to get through. And let's kick it off. So this podcast is actually dedicated to the godfather of MIDI, and that is, of course, Dave Smith, who unfortunately passed away just yesterday. The founder of Sequential and the father of MIDI, as he's been touted here by musictech.com, has passed away at the age of 72. So we're dedicating this podcast to him. He was a legend of a man and a creator of some of the best synthesizers on the planet. We've spoke about him on this podcast, such as the Prophets, and he's even more recently done work with Oberheim, Tom Oberheim. They were going to release a new synthesizer. I don't know if hopefully they got that under wraps and they can still develop it here. But let's just have a quick read back from the Music Tech website. On Dave Smith. So the synth pioneer's passing was made known in a statement from Sequential shared to its website at press time, and no cause of the death was given. And it is with heavy hearts that we share the news from Dave Smith that Dave Smith has passed away. The statement read, "And they're heartbroken, but take some small solace in knowing he was on the road doing what he loved best in the company of family, friends, and artists." And Smith's passing comes just shortly after it was announced he was collaborating with fellow engineer Tom Oberheim on a brand new synth, the Oberheim OBX8, and the collaboration was to be the second between the two synthesizer pioneers after 2016's OB6. So hopefully that still comes into fruition. But even if it doesn't, you know, Dave Smith has left an absolute legacy behind, and we dedicate this podcast to you. Thank you so much for everything you've done, Dave. Without you, literally, you know, modern music as we know it would not be the same. Literally would not be the same. Like, you would not have your Justin Biebers and your massive, you know, One Directions, and I can't even think of who the modern artists are right now. I know, I'm being a bit silly, but you wouldn't have modern music as we know it. Maybe those guys would have to play guitars or something, because MIDI wouldn't exist. Imagine a world without MIDI. Like, seriously, how would you record the notes? How could you even express your ideas? You'd have to do it live, which is kind of cool. You'd be like the Beatles or something, you know, like that's how the Beatles actually recorded everything completely live. Most of those recordings you hear on the Beatles records are actually just one take recordings, which is pretty impressive. Anyway, those artists don't exist more. MIDI made it possible to make some incredible recordings, and without it, it just would be a different world. So thank you so much to everything that Dave Smith has done, and we dedicate this podcast to you. All right, let's move straight along. So this next piece of news is kind of funny. So we're going from that to a more light-hearted piece. I thought this was hilarious, so I've included it in here. Probably don't have time to do this, but we're going to include it anyway. deadmau5 has a drink. Yes, deadmau5, the DJ, the artist, has an energy drink. This is hilarious. This is just the most amazing marketing piece I've ever seen. So if you don't know who deadmau5 is, okay, maybe you've been living under a rock. Yeah, sure, here's a little bit from the last decade. He's still relevant, though. He has some of the biggest DJ shows in the world right now, and I just think he's a marketing legend, and the fact that he's managed to label a energy drink here is absolutely hilarious. So here it is. deadmau5, world-renowned electric music producer, passionate gamer, and metaverse innovator, handpicked and loved by deadmau5 himself. ELX Tropico Combo Energy Drink is the ultimate tropical fruit burst, and it's their best flavor ever, as they're saying here from Esports Nutrition so far. And please note, this is a limited edition flavor collaboration shaker sold separately. Okay, so if you're just zoom in here, if you're watching us on YouTube, simulcast the podcast here, hashtag subscribe, Emlyn in the mix. We have a look there though, and you can see it's got the dead mouse head. I mean, my son would love this. He loves this dead mouse head thing, and he actually likes some of the dead mouse music. I don't know. If you're a fan, go get yourself a drink. All right, let's move along. There's a lot of actual news we're going to get through here, especially the NAMM 2022 stuff. All right, so there's a few specials going on, and I wanted to mention this one. This comes to us from our friends at Native Instruments. They're running a Summer of Sound 2022 special at the moment as part of, I guess, this crazy summer season and NAMM and everything that's going on right now. Literally, if you're a music producer, it's like Christmas right now. So Native Instruments has basically 50% off, or up to 50% off. I think it might just be 50% off in the Summer of Sound 2022 sale. So if you've been thinking of getting any Native Instruments plugins or any sounds or expansions or instruments or sampled instruments, it's all here, and it's all going for way less, 50% off, of course. So go check it out. I'll have an affiliate link, okay? Affiliate link down below. Yeah, it's an affiliate link. You're supporting me, but you're also supporting yourself, because you're getting yourself some amazing gear at a much cheaper price than if you purchased it off season. So link down below. Go do yourself a favor, click on it, get yourself some gear. I mean, we can have a quick listen to, let's have a listen to the Kontakt 6, which has been fully updated. Have a listen to some of the sounds in here of Kontakt 6. Three new instruments. New options for builders. All new creator tools. For builders, for composers, for the music and you. Kontakt 6. Oh man, they should just get me to do the voiceover for that. How good did that sound? My God, that sounded good. All right, anyway, we got a podcast to do. Summer of Sounds 2022 sale is on right now. Amazing. Honestly, go save yourself some dollars. Link down below. And of course, there are other companies having sales as well. Softube, rock and roll scientists, as they call themselves, is having a summer sale with up to 75% off. So if you've been eyeing off Softube, and I just want to say that Native Instruments and Softubes are not the only companies doing these special sales at the moment. There are plenty of them. Go check your favorite plugin company right now, and I bet they're having some kind of summer sale or something to celebrate NAMM. I noticed I saw free plugins from another company as well, just to say, hey, NAMM's on, here's a free plugin. So, I just want to mention the ones which I think are obviously the best, like Softube. Come on, some of the top emulators on the planet in terms of analog emulation. 75% off right now. Go check it out. They're having a summer sale. I don't have a link for them, but you can just head over to softube.com. All right, let's get on to the exciting stuff. This was some of the big news, and this is part of NAMM, a NAMM 2022 drop. So iZotope released the Music Production Suite 5, and inside of there we had a brand new plugin, which I did a video on the Emlyn in the Mix YouTube channel, which was of course Neutron 4. If you didn't check that out, wow, that is an amazing update to their Neutron iteration, which is basically an artificial intelligence mixer. It helps you mix your tracks, and it does a phenomenal job. So we're not going to look at that now, but definitely go after this podcast. You can go check it out, the Neutron 4 AI Mixer Assistant. It is just out of this world. But anyway, this was a new drop as part of NAMM 2022, iZotope releasing Music Production Suite 5, and this just looks absolutely phenomenal. You get so many cool plugins in this. If you want to own your own plugins, you don't want to do a subscription-based service, you just want to have it all in one pack here, you basically get, what is it? You get 1, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 plugins as a part of this, and they include such things as Ozone 9, which is your amazing mastering plugin. Neutron 4, which is the one I just spoke about, a brand new AI mixing assistant. Nectar 3 for vocals. You got RX9 standard, which is just phenomenal. You can use it for remixing, rip out you know, if you get a song in RX9 and use the music rebalance feature, you can actually take out the vocals, for example, of a track, or you can isolate them and make your own remix. Neoverb. You also get the Brainworks creative mixing set, Symphony 3D by I can't even say that, Exponential Audio, and Vocal Synth 2, Insight 2, Stratus 3D by Exponential Audio, gonna make me say it again, Tonal Balance Control 2, and Melodyne Essential. All, like, literally, if you just got this, you wouldn't need any other mixing plugins. Like, it's got everything you could possibly need in this production bundle. And basically, they're showing what's new here. So Neutron 4, amazing. Go check out the video if you can. It's just amazing. With Neutron 4, you can mix smarter and faster while staying in your 8 professional plugins, combines powers from AI assistive technology to create your modern and intelligent mixing experience. You get this is pretty cool. You get the Brainworks creative mixing set. So you get to enjoy Brainworks plugins handpicked to offer even more creative mixing solutions to amplify the power of your suite. Explore creative mixing with BX Delay 2500 for innovative delay, BX Boom to make kick drums big, BX Saturator V2 to add multiband saturation, BX Subsynth for Holy Grail bass fanatics, BX Clean Sweep Pro, that is an amazing plugin by the way, to clean up sounds, and BX Refinement to tame harshness. And you got the Symphony by Exponential, and you've also got the Stratus 3D, and these two are, so you got the Symphony 3D is a lush, colorful reverb engine that gets a 24-channel upgrade to Symphony 3D, bringing rich modulation and dynamics effects to any surround music or post-production project. And here we got the Stratus 3D, which has up to 24-channel support, over 1,700 surround presets, and intelligent multi-channel reverb controls. Use Stratus 3D to get just the right amount of depth and dimension. And yeah, it's improved performance, includes M1 Apple Silicon native support across all iZotope plugins, and there's going to be 2 new products which are not mentioning right now because they haven't been released, which if you buy this bundle will just get automatically, if you buy this bundle now, you'll just be automatically receiving those 2 products, which we don't know what they are, the 2 new plugins which are coming. So, I mean, that's pretty exciting. So it's a new way to own iZotope's 2022 release. I like this. I like that they haven't, they do have the subscription service as well, but they're sort of like, there are consumers that just want to purchase the thing and that's it. They don't want to think about subscription. They just want to have all their mixing tools, no subscription. And this is a phenomenal bundle. Go check it out. There's probably an upgrade deal if you have the music production suite. But this as a whole, if you just purchase this from, the beginning, it's $599, which I know might sound like a lot, but it's not really for what you're getting. Like just getting RX9 and Ozone 9 would probably, in my opinion, be worth $599. Those 2 plugins alone are groundbreaking. So you're getting all this extra stuff as well. It's an incredible bundle. Go check it out and do yourself a favor. Check out my Neutron 4 video. Unfreaking believable drop by iZotope. That plugin, wow, so fast at helping you mix your tracks. All right, another piece of news here from NAMM 2022, another new drop. I guess these companies had these sort of in the background just waiting to drop here for when NAMM came along. But it's another podcasting type of hardware here. But let's tell the world. And it comes to us from Focusrite. This is the Vocaster, and we're just going to scan through here a little bit. So there's a Vocaster 1, which is like a 1-channel input, microphone input, and you got the Vocaster 2, which is, I guess, a 2-channel and with 2 headphones. So let's just read a little bit what is so special about this. So start the conversation. The podcast interface for solo content creators. This is the Vocaster 1. Get incredible sound with enough gain for any XLR mic. Set levels, enhance your sound with 1 click, and stand out with the Vocaster 1 in seconds. Now, I do have to say that Focusrite makes some of the best and probably one of the most popular audio interfaces on the planet. That little red Focusrite thing, I've forgotten the name of. It's jumped out of my brain right now, but that thing is so popular. It's in a lot of studios, and I dare say it's because of one, it's the affordability, but two, that audio interface has some of the best mic pre's for its price, and I dare say they've probably just copied that technology across to these Vocaster hardwares. I mean, more or less, this is just a Focusrite, audio interface, and it's been repackaged and it's marketed as a podcasting piece of hardware, or to use for podcasting, which is a smart move because everyone's podcasting. I'm podcasting right now. Everyone and their pet. I was going to say dog, but people have cats as well. So, I mean, a lot of people are into podcasting. It's a lot of fun, right? A good way to express your ideas and get your knowledge out to other people. And that's exactly what this podcast is for, actually. It's for not only giving you the knowledge, but I hope, at the end of the day, it inspires you. That's the actual main reason for this podcast. Anyway, I digress. So let's look at the Vocaster 2. What does it have? What's different? Well, it looks like it's the same here if I read it back to back. Capture the conversation in the studio over the phone, okay, or online. Okay, it doesn't look like you can do that with Vocaster 1. I don't know, for some reason this is a hard Vocaster. It's not the best word. Anyway, set levels, enhance your sound with one click, and stand out with Vocaster 2 in seconds. Okay, and they got little packages. Was that what's included? I'm not sure. Looks amazing though. You get the headphones and an XLR lead and a microphone. Oh, that's pretty cool. So they got podcasting kits. Okay, look, they're going straight for the podcasters. They want to make it easy, get in there. There's a lot of competition in this area, and it's a new drop. I mean, it looks good, and it is Focusrite. So let's be real. This could be actually a very popular product. Focusrite have done well in the audio interface arena, and I dare say this will probably end up being quite popular. I'm just looking at the picture here with this lady. She's doing a podcast. It looks like she's sitting on a couch with the laptop here, and I can see the audio interface there. It actually looks like a decent size. Like, it's got the two knobs, and it's sitting desktop style, so that's cool because it's sort of facing you. You can turn it up and down, and turn it down, and turn it up, and mix it around. And anyway, I don't need that sort of stuff, man. I got Pro Tools. We're rocking the SE mic here, like I'm the professional. No, I'm just kidding. I'm sorry. I shouldn't be hating on this. Looks like a good product. All right. More NAMM 2022 madness here. This comes to us from musictech.com. And this is just a quick piece as well. Casio, it's not a new product, but it is a new iteration of a product. Casio reveals the limited edition CT-S1 keyboard designed by modern-day Picasso Romero Britto. And so basically it's just a Casio ST-S1. What is a Casio ST-S1, you ask? It is just a digital keyboard by Casio. I'm sure it's amazing because Casio have come a long way, especially since I was a kid. Their products are getting better and better. Anyway, I thought it was a cool piece because check this out. If you're looking on YouTube's here, how nice does that look? It's got this graphic by this Romero Britto. I don't even know who he is. Maybe he's done some stuff for like Gucci and Dolce & Gabbana and all those sort of brands. Who knows? I could be I'm making that up, literally. So the limited edition digital keyboard has had a revamp and sports a brand new look thanks to artist Romero Britto. Britto, dubbed as the modern-day Picasso, is a huge name in the pop art scene, combining cubism and pop art styles in a bright, colourful way. This style can be instantly recognisable on the ST-S1 FH, which looks trendy in its off-white casting with Britto's signature design behind the keys. Alright, have a look there. It looks cool. I'm not gonna lie. Must say, I've never heard of that Romero guy, but I like it. That's a NAMM drop. Let's move along to the next one. This was huge. We got something for everyone. This podcast has literally, and especially today's podcast has something for everyone. Like, we're covering off your plug-in heads, we're covering off your hardware heads, we're covering off your podcasters. Now we've got something for the DJs. Next, I got something for the studio producers, and I got a little surprise at the end. Maybe it's not, because I might have labeled the podcast that. But anyway, the DJM-S5 by Pioneer DJ got dropped as well. More madness coming out of NAMM, just with the drop after drop. This looks pretty cool. So it's a mixer. You know, really it's towards your scratch DJ mixes, like your hardcore scratch DJ mixes, because it has like a crossfader which has these little gears and stuff. I've never seen anything like it. It's called a Magfill fader. I guess this is something which is in the world of scratching and scratch DJing. This is just like probably the Rolls Royce of crossfaders. So find your perfect scratch feeling with the popular Magfill Fader Pro crossfader, which features feeling adjust. So that's what those little gears are, I'm guessing. Feeling adjust, so you can tweak the weight and get the level of resistance you like best. And you can be confident in the fader's robust design too. The knob mounting axis is highly rigid in the vertical direction, so it can handle energetic scratch techniques. And we zoom out there, we can see, you know, how there's some dude there scratching the vinyls. All right, what else we got? We got 8 levers. Use the 2 large effect levers to control up to 57 effects in Serato DJ Pro. And the levers are the same size as those on the flagship DJM S11. You can hold them down or release them to turn the effects on or off, or lock them on so your hands are free to browse and scratch tracks while the effects is still applied. And there are also 2 banks where you can save effects, giving you quick access to your favorites. So it's got these center paddles. They look pretty cool. Lock on and off your effects. I mean, this is really designed as a scratch mixer, but maybe it could be used. Don't have to maybe just scratch. Maybe you could blend 2 house tracks together. But I mean, at the end of the day, if you're getting this, I think you're a scratch DJ. Let's be real. So get creative and experiment with 13 pad modes, including hot cue and sampler, and using the 4 performance pads on each deck, which measures 20.6 millimeters. Does that matter? I guess it's maybe the perfect size for triggering. You can trigger samples and find all kinds of new ways to remix your tracks live and add textures to your music. Got a scratch cutter. Start scratching straight away. Even if you've never tried before, simply choose one of the 6 cutting patterns and turn on the scratch cutter function with the effects lever. Then move the control vinyl or jog wheel, even when using DVS control, forward and backwards on the deck, and the DJM S5 will do the rest. Whoa, okay. The mixer applies a cutting effect to the music in perfect time, emulating the popular transformer scratch technique without you moving the crossfader. This is pretty interesting. So this feature offers a great way to start learning to scratch. You can concentrate on getting your timing right with the control vinyl before moving on to the more challenging techniques of using the crossfader. So wait, it does it for you? Wow. Let's have a look at this. Oh, wow. I don't know if you could hear that or see that, but more or less the mixer has like a built-in, like where they crossfade and scratch at the same time. That is pretty crazy. You got crossfader hot cue, turn on the crossfader hot cue feature, and you can quickly move the crossfader to create scratch-like sounds with a sample or track. Every time you move the fader away from the edge, the track or sample on the relevant deck plays from the most recent hot cue point. So you can quickly repeat the action to rapidly play the hot cue in the rhythm you use to move the crossfader, creating a scratch-like sound without the need to move the control vinyl on the deck. Wow, let's check that out too. That sounds good. Oh, nice. Oh, that's insane. Wow, I can see that this is really designed for even someone who wants to learn how to scratch. So it's not just for pro scratchers, which it looks like it can do as well. But if you want to get into scratching, this is amazing. This mixer helps you. Wow, this is just blowing my mind live on the podcast. This became a much better product in my mind. I thought it was just a battle mixer, an everyday battle mixer with some new, you could tweak the crossfader weight and blah, blah, blah. I thought, okay, that's pretty cool. But no, this does way more. This has literal artificial intelligence to help you learn. That is freaking cool. I love this a lot more now because I want to see, a lot of, it's cool to see. This is a tradition, obviously. Scratching has been around for what, 40 years? Come on. I mean, it's not a new thing. And I love it that this is still around, and you got kids that, perhaps are interested, could just start learning with this. That is really cool. Well done to Pioneer DJ, dropping bombs nearly every week this year. Like Pioneer and Roland, whoa, what are they doing? There's something they're drinking that we don't know about. Anyway, this looks like an incredible mixer, and it just went up a bar in my books just with those extra features we could see there. The DJM S5, even if you don't like scratching or mixing like that, you could learn something with this mixer. Will help you make those sounds, and I think that is just freaking cool. All right, new product here. Maybe not as exciting, but definitely probably going to be very popular because these, if you don't know what they are some of the top studio monitors, studio speakers on the planet, and that's focal speakers, and they're Solo 6BE, I think the originals were called. Anyway, are some of the most popular. You'll almost see them in every major studio on the planet. You'll see them. So anyway, Focal have now just done an updated version of their professional line, and they're just calling it ST6. So you got the Twin 6, the Solo 6, and the Sub 12. Looks like they've just updated them. I don't know exactly what they've done. We're not going to play the video back there because that is probably going to be a long ass video. But following in the footsteps of the SM6, the ST6 line includes 3 products at the cutting edge of technology, made in France. The Solo 6 and the Twin 6 studio monitor, together with the Sub 12 subwoofer, benefit from the full scope of Focal sound savoir-faire. In addition to their multiple features and high pass, crossover, focus mode, etc. These products boast exclusive technologies with their W cone, promising an extremely precise and exceptional reliable sound. That's the ST6. They look really cool. If you're ever interested in getting Focals, I know they're not a cheap product, but it's one of those investments you have to make in the studio that is going to last a long time. I have the Solo 6BEs, and I've had them for, gosh, I must have had them for, more than 10 years now, like 12, 13 years, and they're incredible sounding speakers. Absolutely incredible. Will I be upgrading? I don't see the reason to. I mean, you don't buy a speaker based on their looks unless there's something significant about their sonic palette that they've, made better, because with a studio speaker, what you want is a pure flat sound, not too much coloration, not too much hype. And I found that with the Focals, they did exactly that. And when I first got them, the first thing I noticed, they had the most amazing sweet spot. The sweet spot is where you can sit in the room and still get the stereo effect of both speakers. And for some reason, I don't know, obviously your room is a massive contributing factor as well to how your speakers sound. And maybe it was the room I was using at the time, but I just had this incredible stereo sweet spot. I still have it, not as good as I did in my original room, but they just have an amazing presence, and they're Focals. I don't know what it is that Focal are. Obviously, they've been around for, if you don't know, but they've been around for a long time making just speakers. That's what they, that's their forte. So they make some of the best quality speakers on the planet, and they do all sorts. They don't just do studio speakers, they do hi-fi, they do car speakers as well. So they're really well renowned in the whole speaker arena, but they do make these, and these are some of the best on the planet. I don't know where I'm rambling now, but that's what this podcast is about. If you're interested, you should check these out. And these were a NAMM drop, and they're not going to be cheap, of course, but they're going to sound amazing. You have to go, I think when you go to buy speakers, go do the whole testing, go to a place where they have like a wall of speakers where you can test them and find the ones that are right for you, because as well, it is subjective. It is subjective as well. I know people who love the KRK, those little yellow cone things. For me personally, I don't like them. There's too much coloration in the bass, but some people love that. They love that bass coloration. It helps them mix better. So again, it is subjective, but I would just say that the Focals are pretty flat, awesome sounding response, and that's why they're in a lot of studios. All right, last product. God, so many. I've flied through them for you today though. Next week's probably going to be just as busy because I'm going to have to talk about the products we didn't get to. And also NAMM is actually happening right now. Like it's only just beginning. So by the end of this weekend, there's going to be other products which I've missed out on. But this was a cool drop anyway. Comes to us from Novation. And this is for our FL users, FL Studio users, and it is the FLKey. We haven't really spoken about FL Studio much on this podcast. In fact, I dare say this is the first time we've actually spoken about FL Studio. So FLKey connects directly with your music. It's the ultimate MIDI keyboard for making music in FL Studio with controls for FL Studio's step sequencer. Excuse me. Channel rack and mixer and creative scale and chord modes. FLKey lets you play freely so you can make more of your music. So stay in the groove. Sequencer mode maps FLKey's pads to FL Studio step sequencer for sketching beats fast. 2-pad modes gives your rhythms real human feel and get you off the grid, play straight into the channel rack or FPC and trigger slices in Slice X. Need some crisp hi-hat rolls? Note repeats makes it every single time. Easy every single time. But yeah, this seems like a pretty cool product that Novation is, I feel like they're going out a little bit on a limb here because do they know whether they actually have an FL Studio user base using their Novation products? Maybe they do. I mean, they do surveys and maybe it came back as, wow, FL Studio is like 90% of our user base. Let's make a product for them. I mean, that kind of makes sense why maybe they did this. They have a lot of FL Studio users using Novation products. I don't know if they'll be using like the Ableton grid thing, or maybe they do. Maybe they've got it MIDI mapped. And, the other thing I wanted to say is that FL Studio, as it's known now, when I was younger, it was called Fruity Loops. And I must say, I used it like 20 years ago. And it was, when I looked at it back then, it was sort of seen more as like a bit of a toy. Like it wasn't seen as a serious musician tool. People were using it you can make some fun little tunes with it, but I never looked at it as this serious music production DAW. And now it's just, when I look at it now, wow, it has come a long way. I mean, the fact that people are making hardware for it, and Novation are not the first people to make hardware for FL Studio. I think Akai made something in the last few years ago. Anyway, where I'm going with this is that I'm just impressed with how far FL Studio has actually become like this fully fledged, incredible looking DAW where you can, you can have plugin. It's just a DAW. It's a DAW. And some people love it. They can use it. It's fast to use. So mix, create, and automate. Bring FL Studio's volume and pan controls off the screen and into your hands. Use the 8 pots to tweak your mix and record automation on the fly. Essential transport buttons give you access to DAW functions in an instant. Browse presets in your image line, plugins to change up instruments and sounds fast with no mouse needed. And there's a great video here. You should watch it back if you get a chance. Head over to novationmusic.com with this artist who is an FL Studio user, and he shows how he uses this FLKeys with FL Studio. It's pretty cool, sort of back and forth. Anyway, it looks like a really brilliant product, and I like that Novation's gone out here and said, you know what, we're going to support our FL Studio users. And this is a new hardware drop, FLKey from Novation. Just part of the NAMM 2022 madness. I know there was a lot to get through there today, but we're going to leave it there. What did you think of the items today? Are you going to be getting any of these products? Do you like what you saw with the DJM S5 by Pioneer? I mean, is that something for you? I know it is a little bit more of a niche piece of hardware for scratch DJs or people that are into mixing, but I think it was pretty cool because even if you didn't know about scratch DJing, you could actually learn with it. Do you like that Casio ST1 with the amazing artwork there from Romero, Britto, or whatever his name was? The Vocaster, is that something you need or you want? FLKey, how cool is that? Or what about those the brand new focal speakers? I mean, we covered a lot here, and yeah, you can send your messages to Dave Smith. You can leave a comment down below if you want to, you know, share a memory. I mean, my first synthesizer was a Dave Smith Mofo, my first real synthesizer, I should say, because I've had digital synthesizers before that, but my first real analog synthesizer was the Dave Smith Mofo, which was a one voice monophonic, really fat sounding synthesizer. And from that, I could just tell when I got that Dave Smith really cared about his products. Like, he really put his heart and soul into making some of the best sounding analog synthesizers on the planet. And if you haven't heard of Prophet 5 before, you go out and listen to one. They are on countless hit records. Go check out the deals. All right. I hope this was a good podcast for you guys today. Keep checking out what's happening with NAMM 2022, because I'm sure there's going to be more news happening over the weekend. And with that, guys, thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed everything today. Leave a comment in the comment section below, and leave a like if you're watching us on YouTube here. Hit subscribe if you haven't already. I mean, what are you doing with your life if you haven't subscribed to me? Of course, I'm just kidding. And thank you so much, guys. I'm out of here. Peace out. Boom.